Hi there, Caitlin here from Balarat, and today I'm going to be your guide for our moon phases activity. Before we start exploring, I want you to think about all the different times you've looked up in the night sky and seen the moon. I bet you've noticed that the moon changes its shape over time, and you might have even noticed it goes through these same changes every month. So my question for you is, why do you think the moon changes shape? Do you think the moon itself changes? Maybe it's clouds blocking parts of the moon? Could it be shadows from the Earth making parts of the moon dark? Or do you think it's something else? Go ahead and get a scratch piece of paper and write a short summary on why you think the moon changes shape throughout the month. You can now pause the video and press play again whenever you're finished. Hold on to that summary you just made because we'll come back to that later. Next, we are going to investigate shadows. What you'll need to do is grab a lamp from your house and take the shade off. Turn on your lamp, but turn off all of your other lights. Explore where you see shadows using the lamp and your hand. Pause the video, take about 3 to 5 minutes to explore, and press play when you're ready to continue. Hopefully you had enough time to find all the shadows your hand made. But if not, that's okay. I'll show you the 3 parts of a shadow here. One part, and maybe the most obvious, is the end of the shadow, or the shadow of your hand you saw on the wall. Another part is the beginning, or the dark side of your hand facing away from the light. The final part is the middle, or the area between the beginning and the end of your hand's shadow. All right, so we've already explored what we think we know about the moon phases already. We've done some exploration of the different parts of shadows. And now we're going to bring that all together, and we're going to explore with this model the different phases of the moon. We're going to go ahead and start our model of the phases of the moon, and the 3 things that you're going to need. What we have here is we have a special light post, but if you have any lamp at home, a tall lamp or a short lamp, just take the shade off so you can just see the light bulb. This is going to be the sun. Then any round object you can find at home. If you have a foam ball just like we do, that's great, but an orange or an apple or a tennis ball or a golf ball, any very round object like that is going to work perfectly for our moon. So this will represent the moon. And then finally, the most fun part, I think, is that your head is going to represent the Earth. So pretty round like the Earth, maybe a little lumpier than the Earth, but pretty close. So our head will be the Earth. Whatever ball you choose will represent the moon. And then that lamp where you took the shade off will represent the sun. You might already know that the Earth is always revolving around the sun. But something else that's always happening is the moon is always revolving around the Earth. And that's the rotation that we're going to focus on for this exploration. Now that we've described the different parts of this model, I want you to stop and think about how accurate do you think this model is to real life? Is the sun really that much smaller than the Earth? Is the moon really this close in size to the sun? Is this an accurate size difference between the moon and the Earth? So obviously this isn't a perfect model, but it will give us a great representation of the different phases of the moon. Before we get started exploring, you guys need to make sure that you find a room that's completely dark. So make sure that there's no light getting through from any windows. The only light should be the light from your lamp. Now we're ready to start exploring, but first I'm going to show you a little bit about what that can look like. Now that you've had some time to explore with your moon model, use the guide pictured here to draw what parts of your moon were lit up and what parts were shadowed for each of these 8 positions. Go back to your model to help you fill in each one. Now that we've finished exploring the phases of the moon, let's look back at the summary you wrote on why you think the moon changes shape. Have your ideas changed after this exploration? Have they stayed the same? Why? I want you to write a new summary of why you think the moon changes shape. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to continue. You probably still have lots of questions since this was a brief experience. So I encourage you to continue exploring with your model, and you will surely discover even more about the phases of the moon. Next time you're outside taking a look at the moon, think about and apply what you discovered today. Try and figure out where you think the sun might be, or why certain parts are lit up while others are dark. Maybe try to guess if the moon will appear bigger or smaller in the next few days.